Hello everybody and welcome back to another Path of Exile 1 video. Today we're going to be doing a quick campaign build guide for the Return of the Ancestors event. This is not a league starter. I don't plan on running any maps, no endgame here. The goal is to pick a build that blasts through the acts and takes the pain out of the campaign. Now, if you're wondering why the heck you might want to do that in the first place, well, by participating in the event and killing Katava in Act 10, you're gonna get yourself a free Return of the Ancestors mystery box. So if you don't have a lot of time, you just want to get your box and bounce, then this video is for you. With that said, let's get right into it. The class we will be playing is the Templar, which we will ascend into the Polytheist. Our skill of choice is Pyroclast Mines, and this is a mine skill with the projectile and nova tags. You throw down a mine with one button and then you detonate it with another, and that's going to create a screen full of projectiles in a nova pattern. The skill has some pretty interesting mechanics. First of all, the projectiles it creates can hit the same enemy multiple times. This is what we call shotgunning, and it's going to be the primary source of our single target damage. Now the skill also deals damage on its way up and when it lands on the ground, so if an enemy is standing right on top of the mine, when it detonates, they're gonna get the Bonnie Blue special. Now the annoying thing about the skill is that it is considered a nova. This means that the projectiles land in a circular spread around the mine, which is pretty much going to limit our clear speed. To solve that problem, we're going to take the Polytheist Ascendancy. After you complete Cruel Lab, you get access to Devout of Lunaris, and this is going to change how the Nova tag works. Instead of landing around the mine, projectiles will now target enemies instead. So this combo turns Pyroclast Mine into a clearing machine while still retaining its single target shotgun potential. Nice. Pyroclast Mines is unlocked at level 28, so you're going to want to play something else in Acts 1, 2, and most of 3. You can use the tried and true Magma Orb setup if you are familiar with it, or if you want to switch it up, you can do what I did and use Spark, Flame Wall, and Orb of Storms all the way until you kill Izaro in the normal lab. Spark can be bought from Nessa after killing Hillock at level 1. It's going to shoot projectiles that deal lightning damage. Now the cool thing about Spark is that it can shotgun and bounce off walls to hit the same enemy multiple times. At level 4, you're going to get Flame Wall after opening the Submerged Passage. This is going to create a wall of fire that burns nearby enemies. You can also shoot your Spark through the wall to add fire damage to the projectiles. Pretty cool. At level 4, we can also buy Orb of Storms from Nessa. Now this is a skill that is going to create an orb that zaps nearby enemies for lightning damage when you cast another lightning spell. Since we're already using Spark, we're going to be proccing Orb of Storms constantly once we place it down. For our mobility skill, we're going to start with Frostblink at level 4. This instantly teleports you to the target area, dealing cold damage where you leave and where you arrive. So make sure to use that ability offensively when possible. Just be a little bit careful or you might end up surrounded by monsters or triggering abilities like Molten Shell. At level 10, after killing Brutus, you can ditch Frostblink and pick up Flame Dash. This one has pretty much the same functionality, but it has multiple charges and leaves a trail of burning ground instead of dealing hit damage. Okay, Flame Dash is going to be our movement skill for the rest of the campaign. For auras, pick up Clarity in Act 1 and Herald of Thunder in Act 2. This is going to give us mana regeneration and a little extra lightning damage for our spells. In Act 3, after switching to Pyroclast Mines, you can drop Herald of Thunder and pick up Summon Skitterbots, which is going to chill and shock enemies. It also has a pretty cool interaction with your mines, allowing them to be rearmed after a detonation. Now, everything else you need to know, like what supports to use or how high to level your gems, can be found in the Path of Building. That is going to be the first link in the description below. Make sure to check out the loadouts and the notes. I do put a lot of time and effort into them. Next, let's talk about gearing. This build uses a lot of blue sockets, so you're going to be using Energy Shield and Energy Shield Hybrid gear. If you're feeling a bit squishy and need more defenses, you might want to throw on an armor chest piece. For your weapons, I recommend scepters over wands, just because wands tend to have a higher intelligence requirement, which can be hard to meet. Make sure to use resistance rings, get strength on your belt and dexterity on your amulet, and for item modifiers you want to prioritize movement speed on boots, life and resistances on armor, and spell damage on your weapons. Right, for our bandits, we are helping Alira in Act 2 for some resistances, and once you get to Act 6, you can put the Brine King Major Pantheon for stun mitigation, and you can take Minor Pantheon of RotA in Act 7 for bleed mitigation. Make sure to upgrade your flasks as you go, and you should be having a good time in the campaign. The last thing we'll talk about is the passives. We're going to start in the Templar area and work our way towards the Witch. Okay, we're picking up Destructive Apparatus and Mine Mastery before you transition to Pyroclast Mines at the end of Act 3. Next, we'll make our way over to the shadow side of the tree, where we're going to pick up some mine throwing speed, damage, and life. At some point, you're also going to want to pick up the Mind over Matter Keystone. This is going to turn your unreserved mana into a defensive layer. Once you do this, make sure to pick up some mana sustain nodes like Thrill Killer to make sure your mana stays topped up. Next, we grab the Elemental Overload Keystone, which is going to give our spells more damage when they crit. You do lose the critical strike multiplier in the process, but trust me, you're going to be doing a lot more damage with this keystone on a non-crit build. The rest of our points we spend on getting life, damage, and increased area of effect nodes. This is going to improve our clear speed by hitting larger areas, and it's going to improve our single target damage by getting more explosions to overlap. For our Ascendancy, we are going the Polytheist. In normal lab, you want to take Devout of RotA. This is going to give you 3 Endurance, Frenzy, and Power charges. Okay, Endurance makes you more tanky, Frenzy makes you faster and deal more damage, and Power gives you additional chance to crit. You also get the added benefit that corrupted blood cannot be inflicted on you, which is really useful to have in the campaign. In Cruel Lab, we get the Build Enabler Ascendancy Devout of Lunaris. This is going to make our spells fire 2 additional projectiles, and most importantly, you're going to make it so that your Nova spells cast at the targeted location instead of you. Okay, for our mines, like I said, this means that it's going to improve your screen coverage instead of being limited to that Nova spread pattern. You're also going to get a little bit of increased area of effect, which is always nice. Alright, in Merciless Lab, you're going to get Devout of Garukan. This one isn't actually really all that good for our build. It just happens to be that all the other nodes kind of suck for what we're trying to do. So this is going to give you a bunch of benefits while you are moving. So you're unaffected by shock, you get more mana regen, you get some life regen, alright, you're immune to all the different types of elemental ailment grounds. Alright, pretty cool node to have, but it's not all that necessary. And that's it. If you did everything I talked about in this video, then you're going to finish the campaign in 6 or 7 hours. Please don't kill me. I clocked in at 4 hours, 59 minutes, and 48 seconds, which is honestly not that bad for a build I threw together on a whim. If you want to keep playing this build into maps, then I recommend checking out Exiled Cat's Zero to Hero. The video is about a year old and he does play it in SSF, but you'll be able to get ideas on how to scale and gear your character past the campaign. Thank you for watching, like it if you found it useful, and consider subscribing for more Path of Exile content. I'll see you guys soon. Bye!